In this presentation, I'm going to explain how social media and electronic communication are revolutionizing business communication on the job and in the classroom. In this presentation, you'll learn the answers to these important questions. What's the difference between social media and electronic communication? How is social media changing how we communicate? And how do the answers to these questions affect what you should be teaching in your business communication classes? Electronic communication is any communication done electronically. All social media are part of electronic communication, but not all electronic communication is social media. For example, an Adobe PDF document, a Word document, a PowerPoint presentation, or an RSS newsfeed are all examples of electronic communication, but none are considered part of social media, although there are many ways in which you can use these tools in social media efforts. Brian Solis, social media guru, answers the question in this chart: what is social media? As you can see from the chart, there are many different types of social media. For example, it can be sites where pictures are shared on Flickr, or microblogging sites such as Twitter, or social networking sites such as Facebook, or wiki sites such as Twiki, or platforms for creating a blog post such as WordPress. There are about 24 different types of social media, and within those types there are hundreds of specific media. In Bovee and Thill's text, this is how we describe social media. Social media are electronic media that transform passive audiences into passive participants in the communication process by allowing them to share content, revise content, respond to content, or contribute new content. In short, social media is a conversation supported by online tools. Tools like these: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Flickr, Pinterest, and Google+. Facebook, a social networking site, is the #1 website worldwide with more page views than Google. If Facebook was a country, it would be #3 after China and India. Facebook is a site where users can build a profile, add friends, send messages, become fans of pages, indicate they like something at the click of a button, find out about events, and join groups. Users can also interact with businesses. More than 50,000 retailers and thousands of companies have Facebook pages. For example, people can order tickets for Delta Airlines right on Facebook. On YouTube, the average user spends 15 minutes a day on the site. 60 hours of video is loaded onto YouTube every minute. More video is uploaded to YouTube in 60 days than all 3 major U.S. networks created in 60 years. There are more than 120 million videos on YouTube. 25% are using a mobile phone. YouTube is translated into 51 languages by Google's automatic speech recognition technology. 70% of YouTube's viewers are outside of the U.S. A recent survey suggested that video company profiles on YouTube have more measurable impact than company profiles on Facebook, LinkedIn, and other prominent sites. There are a number of microblogging tools, all require short messages. The most popular microblog is Twitter. On Twitter, messages must be 140 characters or less. Twitter has over 554 million registered users, but only 200 million are regular users. 135,000 new users are registering each day. 60% are people using Twitter on a mobile phone. There's an average of 58 million tweets per day. Users submit 2.1 billion search queries a day to Twitter's search engine. Twitter has many business uses, including research, collaboration, company updates, coupons and notices of sales, tips on product usage, information from experts, customer service with individuals, and as a back channel for meetings and presentations. By back channel, I'm referring to a real-time online conversation that is occurring concurrently during a speaker's presentation. A back channel can provide audience members a chance to fact-check a speaker by checking with experts or looking at reference materials, or an opportunity to discuss points the speaker is making. Social networking and blogging sites are now the most popular activity online, followed by getting or receiving email, watching YouTube videos, using a search engine, or playing games. 75% of Americans and 66% of the global internet population visit social networks. 93% of Americans believe that a company should have a presence on social media sites. 85% believe that these companies should use these services to interact with customers. Social media is not a fad. It's a fundamental shift in the way that all of us are communicating. Companies are no longer in control of their messages and must adapt to a world in which customers and other stakeholders demand to participate in and influence the conversation. The old communication model was a monologue. We talk, you listen. The new communication model is a dialogue. It should be transparent, authentic, vibrant, and consumer-driven. In a social media environment, effective communication is no longer about broadcasting a tightly controlled message, but rather about initiating conversations and participating in conversations started by customers and other stakeholders. This year, millennials and Gen Yers are now outnumbering baby boomers. Millennials spend 16 hours a week online. 96% have joined a social network. They have an average of 53 online friends. 70% of them trust recommendations of consumers they don't know. 90% of them trust recommendations by people they do know. In short, they don't care about ads or sales presentations. They care about what their friends think. Millennials and Gen Yers also expect to be able to use social media on the job. Memos and letters still have a role, to be sure, but they're being replaced in many instances by a growing variety of electronic media. These destructive forces never stop either. Some first-generation electronic media are already being supplanted by new media tools. For example, in many instances, microblogs, blogs, news feeds, and social networking sites are replacing email. Emphasizing the tools students will be expected to use on the job is critical, but even that is only part of the story. Even more important than the tools themselves is the profound shift that these tools have enabled, which needs to be explained to students. Businesses that stick with the old, we talk, you listen mode of unilateral communication increasingly find that nobody is willing to listen anymore. So to succeed in this new business environment, business communicators must approach their tasks with a new mindset, in addition to these new tools. Echoing the shift from Web's 1.0's unidirectional model to Web's 2.0's interactive conversational model, Bovee and Thill call this new approach Business Communication 2.0. Many years of leading the market and presenting social and electronic media usage have taught us that merely adding a chapter on these topics to a traditional textbook is not nearly enough. Social media and electronic communication are so pervasive in business today, they need to be thoroughly integrated in the textbook and in the course. That's why John Thill and I continually revise our textbooks in order to fully integrate the skills and issues that are important in today's workplace. This integration is carried throughout chapter opening vignettes, chapter content, model documents, end of chapter questions, and communication cases. Just as significantly, the fundamental changes brought by new media need to be integrated throughout the course as well, including the way social media is changing the communication process. The 10 types of messages students need to know for electronic communication, relationships between senders and receivers, collaborative writing, oral presentations, job searches, and so much more. For example, take the chapter Mastering Team Skills. For this chapter to be current, it should be discussing social networking. In the chapter on social media, it should include discussing wikis and having students develop their skills with a wiki editor, which we provide on our website. In the chapter on oral communication, we discuss using Twitter as a back channel during presentations. And in the chapter on resumes, we discuss using Facebook and Twitter for finding a job. We also teach students how to write a social media resume in one of our employment chapters, which is important for attracting hiring managers directly, without the applicant having to submit a resume to them blindly. With a social media resume that includes various multimedia elements, sharing options, integrated social networking feeds, and the same elements as in a traditional resume, the applicant is much better equipped for success. In teaching your business communication course, take advantage of Bovee and Thill's Learn More feature that appears more than 50 times throughout each text. This feature connects students with dozens of carefully selected online media elements, including video, PowerPoints, infographics, and podcasts that provide examples and insights from successful professionals. While most other texts are still stuck in the 90s with their overemphasis on paper-based documents, there are only 3 books on the market that fully integrate social media. and electronic communication throughout the text. And those are the 3 business communication textbooks written by Bovee and Thill. To contact your local rep, to order examination copies, or to get further information about these texts, and to download a large complimentary collection of materials for your classroom, please visit Bovee and Thill's Business Communication blog.